and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
ESPN Madison is serving up something new this fall.
Badgers bust into the national semifinals.
Unprecedented success.
Kelly Sheffield has put himself among the elite in the sport.
Unrivaled enthusiasm.
Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
Looks like I love Wisconsin Bucks.
Unrelenting determination.
Yeah, the best players and the best coach. You like the chance.
A national semifinalist for the 6th time.
The new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. 100.5 ESPN.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside and no drafts, it's a game changer.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 5/10/2024.
You ever have one of those days when you just couldn't come up with the right answer? Well, I know one answer that pretty much solves all problems. Ice cream. Yeah, it's the answer to everything, right? And right now, at Quick Trip, our rich, creamy, straight from our dairy, Nature's Touch 1-gallon pails of ice cream are just $4.99. Yeah, now that's an answer worth digging into. Come on, be a problem solver. Bring home some fresh, delicious Nature's Touch ice cream, only from Quick Trip.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you outdoors because we get you. When it's time to plant and grow your dream yard, we get you the right products at the right prices. Like half off 1 cubic foot bags of Miracle Grow garden soil, $5 off assorted Fiskars specialty garden tools. New at Blaine's, a 42-inch Cub Cadet Hydro lawn tractor, $250 off. And with Mother's Day coming up, women's Western Chief floral rubber boots, $39.99. Plus, visit our outdoor garden centers, now open at select Blaine's Farm and Fleet stores.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 18th for Mark Osiki's 6th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes early, then back at the Alliant Energy Center for 2:30 happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions with cool autographed hockey items, guided tours, and a brand new fishing boat. There's even more on our website, castingforkids.org. Help us help the kids, castingforkids.org.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues. This season, spring into adventure together in the Chevy of your choice.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
A national semifinalist for the 6th time.
We're on Wisconsin Sports. 100.5 ESPN.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life.
Fam.com.
Always look on. Jesse, I'll be honest, I am not a big Monty Python fan, but it's a good musical. I hope it's in your season ticket package next year at the Overture Center. It's worth your time. All right, we're looking on the bright side of life with the Packers and the Bucks. First, the Bucks, as we spend time with our cousin sub of the day and our Bucks buddy, Justin Garcia. All right, Justin, you said that their position for this offseason is not as dire. as you may have thought it was going to be.
It's still not great, but it's not as bad as we thought it would be.
So Tausch's point when he's here has been that, all right, well, what are you going to do to fix it, right? He is a big solutions guy. That's how he's wired. So they do have their first-round pick this year. That is not one of the, 18 that they've traded away in the future, right?
Correct.
Now, Marjon Beauchamp, I thought, was a player that was, at least under Bud, when he was first drafted, someone that looked like they saw some potential in him. Now he's disappeared largely. Andre Jackson Jr. Certainly gave them a boost during the playoffs when they needed bodies and energy, but I don't know how he's viewed. What do they have on the roster where you can say, okay, these guys are poised to be the X factors that improve this team beyond the big three and Brook?
Well, I think the two names in terms of young guys that you feel like we at least have a rotational piece that could potentially blossom into something more are A.J. Green and Andre Jackson Jr. And I think those are the two most likely candidates to break out, maybe strong. I suppose you could apply that to Andre just when looking at his minutes played. But the most likely candidates to maybe replace a starter or just be exactly what you're looking for. Because, look, we've said for 3 straight off seasons now, this team needs to get younger and more athletic. The first part of that, I'm not saying you punt and give up on it, but it's very difficult. You don't typically thread the needle. You don't have a veteran-laden team that's expecting to compete for a championship, and then also half of your roster is young. We saw the Warriors try to do that. They did get a championship in 2022, pretty improbable championship. I think even if you inject in some truth serum into the decision makers for the Warriors, they would acknowledge that as well, because everything since then has not been great. And a lot of that was those young players that they were banking on didn't really work out. So I'm not saying, look, you can't get younger. I think you have to sprinkle in youth. But it's not as if this team is going to go from the oldest in the league to in the middle of the pack. The big piece is athleticism. You need more of that. We've said that for 3 off seasons. That's going to be the biggest challenge because the Bucks have really, I think they've known that. But again, because of the roster construction, they've doubled down on vets. When we had the same conversation, last offseason, 2 off seasons ago, I should say, and Joe Ingles was your acquisition. You sent out 5 draft picks for Jay Crowder. So you've done nothing but really double down on veteran guys that are towards the end of their career. So this is going to be the interesting part of maybe not necessarily a full-scale pivot, but how do you start to develop some of those young guys? Those are the big ones because the good pieces, all their free agents are their role players, basically. Thanasis is a free agent. And let me just say this, too. I've seen a lot of that discourse of why are the Bucks wasting a roster spot on Thanasis? Well, first and foremost, it is the 15th spot on the roster. So point to me the team that is really maximizing, hey, guy that's number 15, man, that guy started 10 games. That guy's averaging X amount of points. He's a real difference maker. So I kind of immediately dismiss that argument on that surface to begin with. But also, look, if it means number 34 is happy and wants to be here, that is a $2 million tax every single team in this league will pay. So that's a non-starter for me to talk about. Well, you got to move on from Thanasis. Who cares? If he wants to play, if Giannis wants him here as your 15th man, great. I'll take him back gladly. Malik Beasley is a free agent. You got him on the veterans minimum last year. I would assume that's probably what Malik Beasley is going to be looking at this year because it's been habitual now that we've seen him run into those struggles in the playoffs. Jay Crowder is a free agent. So that's the group that we're talking about here. And those are, frankly, guys I'm sure the Bucks coming out of this series were saying, if we're going to make changes to the roster, it's at these spots that we have to look to address in improving our bench and getting more athleticism in those spots, shooting guard, and a guy that's going to play the 3 or 4 for you off the bench. Maybe Andre Jackson Jr. and A.J. Green take those spots, which, you could see that. Andre Jackson Jr. is a guy that I don't want to make this comp too much because of the name and what it carries, but I think some elements of his game, you do wonder, is he really a Ben Simmons type where he can handle the ball, but maybe he's ideally a 4 or a 3 where you can put him out there for his defense. He can handle the ball. You know what to expect offensively. Maybe that'll develop more, but he's a guy that we feel can develop some bigger guys, and he can kind of fit pieces of that Ben Simmons role. A.J. Green, to me, was really probably the revelation because I wasn't sure what to expect. And I think a lot of us looked at him and thought, well, he's a guy that can just shoot and he's going to be a problem defensively. We saw him get better throughout the season, and we know Doc Rivers trusts him. So those are the two guys you would look at and say, can we continue to develop these guys and really increase their minutes? They do have their first-round pick. I think it's going to be 25th, I want to say. This is one of the years they have to swap with New Orleans if their pick is better than the Pelicans. Same thing in 2026, same thing in 2028, and then the same thing with Portland in 2030. So it's next year in 2025, 2027, both those first-rounders are gone, and then 2029, your first-rounder is gone to the Blazers. So you do have first-round picks half of these years for the next 7 years. And that's going to be the other challenge is I think in years past we're inclined to say, okay, you can take that first-round pick, you can package it with player X, you can trade it, and you can bring in exactly what you're looking for. Maybe, but also I think the other part of the conversation is, look what you got in Andre Jackson Jr. Do you have to just say, maybe we need to actually use these picks and start to bring in some of those guys to develop?
All right, last thing on our Bucks talk with Justin Garcia. We needed the Sounders for that. Whatever happened to there was like a really long intro for a couple years there, and there was like, I feel like make some noise was part of it, right? We need that for you. So the guy that Tausch, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, because he's not here to say it himself, because he's out today. Nothing bad happened to him. We're happy he'll be back tomorrow. He was really down on Pat Connaughton, right? He kind of said, well, we all love Pat. He's a great guy. He is a great guy. I'm not as down on him, and I was a little surprised how down on him Tausch was, but because of the way Tausch talked about him after the series ended, I am curious, where do you see Pat Connaughton in the Bucks' plans?
His time is up, is I think what Tausch said on Friday.
Pat time. He did not do that.
I mean, I don't know. I think the three names you're probably going to hear the most from Bucks fans, to be clear there, in terms of players you're looking to trade, are going to be Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis, and Brook Lopez. Bobby Portis still has a lot of value, I think, and finished third in Sixth Man of the Year. I think it's unfortunate that you basically had to ask Bobby, hey, we need you to basically play the Giannis role. The Bucks were fortunate to have a guy that plays Giannis's position to step in for him, but their game is obviously dramatically different. He still has the ability to score, and that's important. It's the defensive side of the ball where maybe the Bucks have shifted towards, we got to start looking at playing Giannis at the 5 more. And if we do that, does it work with Bobby Portis playing next to him? So that name is going to come up a lot. It already has from Bucks fans.
And there were reports that he was that
and
there were
reports
at
the deadline that Bobby himself addressed. Brook Lopez, another one. That's, to me, again, I don't think we're watching the same thing if you're going to sit here and tell me Brook Lopez is washed and the Bucks need to move on from him.
Agreed.
So much of his game is tied into the perimeter. And, I mean, you can say Drew Holiday is going to make a lot of guys look good. That is very true. But Brook Lopez was very, very elite when he had Drew Holiday containing things on the perimeter for him. When that changed and he became more under attack, I think it's easy to look at the end of the play and say, well, Brook isn't good anymore. When there's a process that goes into it, it's no different than any of us watching football games and saying, hey, that was broken coverage. We don't know what the design was, what the play call was, what your assignment was. And I think that's a lot of times what happens to Brook Lopez. Not suggesting he's in his prime and getting better, but I don't think he is a bad player. I think he is still very good and fills a need for teams in the right role. Pat Connaughton is the other one. You've relied on him for a lot of these moments in the postseason, but that's the other challenge with this team is as you get older, you think back to the early portion of the run, when you start to pay your role players that were big contributors to that title. Pat Connaughton and Bobby Portis were huge for this team. But when you start to pay those guys and the production dips, that's what ultimately hurts you more than anything. More so than overpaying a starter or a star, and you see that production start to decline. As we've seen, I don't think there's anybody that you could say you can't move that contract. We've seen trades happen. May not be a great return, but you see trades happen. When it's those role guys, though, that's when it becomes a little more difficult. Pat Connaughton has a player option after this season for around $10 million. So that's going to be a challenge for other teams, too, to say, hey, if that production dips off, we could be left here with 2 years, $20 million that we're holding down for a role player. So I'm just curious to see Pat with an offseason with Doc Rivers, because that's another name Doc Rivers mentioned almost immediately, that he said, in February, he was trying to get Pat Connaughton's confidence back, and that was a big part of this team. I think he was pretty good from really January through March. The biggest piece that he brought was, I think, one thing to keep an eye on next season when Doc has a full year with this team. He's one of those guys, and Pat Beverly does the same thing, another free agent, by the way. He touches the paint. Pat will drive to the basket and kick out, and that's incredibly important, especially when you have shooting, because if you're not doing that, it's easier to defend the perimeter. So Pat was doing a good job of creating shots when he was on the floor. It was the highest of his career, or second highest of his career, highest since the Bucks won the title. That was helping keep the offense move. That started to decline when Giannis was out, and I think a lot of the offense started to decline. So I think that's the big thing is what version are you going to get? The shooting is one thing. We've seen him be very streaky, and in fairness, Pat was very good in the playoffs last year. He's one of the few guys that were good in that series against the Miami Heat. He did the same thing in 2022 and in that title run in 2021 as well. But it's more of who else is around him and what are you asking of Pat Connaughton? Because just as we had that conversation with Brooke, to a lesser extent, I think you could apply it to Pat Connaughton too. And he's the guy that's expected to lead the bench basically. And, hey, we need you to score. We need you to defend. We basically need you to do everything because all of these players are out.
We'll put a bow on our Bucks Talk, the Wilde and Tausch edition, with a text to wrap up the 9 o'clock hour. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on Wisconsin sports like never before.
Sharing the love that all of us have for volleyball with everyone else is one of my favorite things.
The new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball, 100.5 ESPN.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like the Dam Bar and Grill, Antlers Pub, Whatever Bar, and the Keg in DeForest.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With this Badger Minute, I'm Jesse Nelson. ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. Making the announcement official Thursday on Wilde and Tausch, Good Karma Brand CEO Craig Karmazin.
We are going to be the new home of the Wisconsin volleyball program and the flagship home for a best-in-class program that has absolutely captivated this entire fan base, and couldn't be more excited to share that announcement with our fans.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. it'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Hey everyone, Molly Brown here from ESPN Madison. For the best Southwestern food and margaritas in the Madison area, it's always Pasquale's Cantina for me. Whether I'm enjoying my favorite taco salad, their awesome chips and guac, or one of their famous burritos, Pasquale's is the best for authentic Southwestern fare. Plus, they have one of the largest tequila selections around. Visit one of their locations in Verona or Middleton today, or check out their menu and order online at Pasquale'sCantina.com.
Bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Wow, Taylor Swift. We go from Spam-A-Lot to Taylor Swift. You never know what you're going to listen to here on Wilde and Tausch. You're listening to Justin Garcia, who's in as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe better. I'm really excited for what we've got to start at the 10 o'clock hour. And we have a surprise guest who shows up in a video that was unearthed for me over the weekend. We're going to talk about great moments in Packers history, underrated great moments in Packers history to kick off the 10 o'clock hour coming up. But, Jesse, let's put a bow on Bucks Talk, the Wilde and Tausch edition. Make some noise! Why did you do away with that?
If you think I have any say over the imaging or anything that takes place here,
just is it all about Ashton Rotman? Is he the one who's doing that to you? Who is that? Who says? Do you remember who that was that yells, "Make some noise"? No.
Well, it's from the "Let Me Clear My Throat" song.
I'm not familiar with that one. I know that comes as a surprise to you. Jesse, what do you got on the text line?
Shocker. Here is a text from Josh in Lake Geneva. If you've watched the Amazon documentary, you know Thanasis can't go anywhere. Family is always first. It's why I appreciate Giannis the person more than Giannis the NBA superstar. From Josh in Lake Geneva. JG, do you confirm the assertion from Josh there?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we said before. As long as Giannis is there, Thanasis is there, and I don't have a problem with it. It would be one thing, like, the conversation can be had if Thanasis is starting at the 4 next to Giannis, and this is what we're doing, that he's playing 30-plus minutes, but for what he's asked to do, and look, here's the other thing, it's not just being a homer and team speak. every single person, Doc Rivers has talked about this, other players in the league have talked about this too. Thanasis' value is not just that in his brother's happiness, but his value as a teammate too.
Yes.
And he is the guy that is out there listening in the sideline, giving some instructions and orders, pumping up his teammates and working with young guys. That's the other big piece of the equation Thanasis brings that I think gets drastically underrepresented in these conversations.
So is that Busta Rhymes that says make some noise? It sounds like Busta Rhymes, whose work I'm more familiar with in the film Finding Forrester, which is an underrated film, by the way.
I just saw that the other day.
All right, we'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour. Here's what I want you to think about. Your favorite Packers memory of your youth. The first, I remember that play moment or that game moment. Now, we have a wide swath of ages that listen to this show. So we're going to get some Lombardi moments because we're very popular with older folks. I don't know how popular we are with the younger folks, but I know that there are people Jesse's age who will say things from the Favre era, which I covered. So all throughout there. And if you're old enough like Homer to have seen Don Hudson play, you can say him as well. We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour there. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Brewers win the initial revenge game against Craig Counsell and the Chicago Cubs on Friday, but the Cubs get the last laugh, winning the final two games and the series. That included a 5-0 shutout win for the Cubs at Wrigley Field yesterday afternoon. Entering play today, the Brewers and Cubs, I know it's early in the season, but they are virtually tied atop the NL Central standings. Brewers with a 20-13 record, the Cubs with a 21-14 record following the weekend series. Brewers already back in action again tonight, visiting the Kansas City Royals for the first of a 3-game set. First pitch tonight is set for 6:40. Football, the rookie class of Green Bay Packers reporting over the weekend up in Titletown. Plenty to react to. Jason Wilde has it covered on Wilde and Tausch. Rob Demovsky has plenty covered on the rookies making their debut in Green Bay over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Plenty more to talk about tonight on the Great Dane Huddle on 100.5 ESPN starting at 6 after Rutledge and Hamilton, featuring a special surprise guest host.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now with Justin Garcia, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. So the Packers had their rookie camp over the weekend. And it is one of my favorite times. I love the draft, and I love the rookie camp that follows. I do not, as I've voiced many times on this program, I do not enjoy the draft industrial complex. And check out my mock draft 9.0, all 7 rounds for the Packers. Not a fan of that. But I love it when they pick double-digit guys and add them to the roster, and then it's great to get to talk to these guys in person, which I got to do on Friday. Forced me to miss the grand opening of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, but I'll make it down there eventually. But one of the guys that came out of the rookie camp was a tryout wide receiver from Iowa State who earned a contract, a chance to have a chance. And that is Dimitri Stanley. If the last name sounds familiar and if you're of a certain age, that's because he is former Packers wide receiver and return man Walter Stanley's son. And it led to, I think Bill Huber had the news first, so I retweeted his breaking news, and then I said, this is a really cool story. And then someone sent me the video of his 1986 Thanksgiving Day punt return to beat the Lions at the Silverdome. And I was like, oh, my God, I remember that. Now, that is not one of my earliest memories of the Packers because I was a freshman in high school, I think, at the time, which tells you how old I am. But it got me thinking about those kind of moments that are frozen in time for you as a Packers fan. And Justin, you're a significant amount younger than me.
I don't know about significant.
Well, okay. Well, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But, everyone has that, right? Even me, who I saw someone tweeted that they're sick of my shtick of not being a fan. It's not a shtick, bro. This is how I'm wired now. I don't expect you to understand it. I don't. It's okay. But this is how it works now. The teams that I'm a fan of are the teams that my children play on. That's the end of the list. I want to see the Bucs do well because I care about Justin, even though I'm allegedly not friends with him, and a lot of other people that work for the organization. So that's how this works. Now, when I think back to my youth, there are a few moments in time that I remember as a Packers fan as a kid. But Justin, since you're slightly younger than me, is that better?
Sure.
What's the one for you when you think back to your Packers fandom as a youth?
There's a lot from that, 94 through the early 2000s era, really 94 through 98 is the memories that are the most crystallized. If I had to choose just one, though, I will always remember that play. If for no other reason than the excitement it brought and the realization of, okay, this is where this team is headed, is in the playoff game against the Niners in 96. And I would assume a lot of people around my age would have this specific play, too. That Wayne Simmons hit on, was it Adam Walker, the Niners fullback, where Craig Newsome scooped it up, returned it for a touchdown. The Packers win the game, and that was kind of their statement of, hey, we are here. And that specific game, that play, to me stood out more than any of them because I can still remember watching that game in the living room at my parents' house, who was watching it with me, where I was sitting, and just the realization of, holy cow, this team is actually pretty good, and we are going to win an important playoff game.
Jesse, what about for you? Because you, and by the way, I did not cover that 95 playoff game in San Francisco, but the next year I started covering the team. So take that for what it's worth, Mr. Significantly / slightly younger than me. Yes, and if you're watching on video, that is before, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, that photo with my boy band jacket and headsets.
Still a good look. Should bring it back.
No earring. That was post-earring era. But that is, I believe, before they played the Raiders in Oakland the night of the Brett Favre playing after his dad passed away, which is one of those moments that's very crystallized for me during my time covering the team. It's still the most compelling moment I've ever covered was that game. But, Jesse, what about for you?
I do remember being, 5 or 6 years old for Super Bowl 31. and being in the basement at my parents'. Yeah, I do this to you every now and then. You asked the question. Being in the basement at my parents' house growing up, our entire extended family came over. And do I remember every single detail of the game and the day? No, because I was 5 or 6 years old. But I remember just we had green and gold Christmas lights up in the basement and the big box TV, big screen TV with the punt return or the kick return for the touchdown and the big touchdown pass out of the gates. I do remember that and just the joy that it was bringing so many people. And little did I know how hard it was for a team to actually win a Super Bowl, because that's the first true game I remember. I also have this really distinct memory, which was before that Super Bowl, of going to. So apparently I was a huge, I know I was a huge Packers fan growing up, but so my mom would we were at the grocery store and she knew who the butcher was. And she was showing off that I knew the entire Packers schedule from the season to the butcher. And he was like, "Oh, who'd they play week 3?" And then I ran down the entire schedule and told him what the results of it were and everything. So I don't know if that counts as a memory of watching the game.
Schedule
or the
also
team,
hanging on the side of the wall.
No,
there.
I wasn't cheating as a 5-year-old to remember the schedule, Justin. But I do remember that being a thing. I knew I was invested in that. I just enjoyed football at that point. And then it culminated, of course, with the Super Bowl watch party and the big championship later that year. That's my first true memory of being a Packers fan.
You know what I also remember is I have more memories of the NFC Championship game than the Super Bowl, oddly enough, just because of the realization of going to the Super Bowl, that touchdown pass to Dorsey Levens in the back of the end zone, too, and the celebration. But to me, I have a lot of the memories are about that was the first experience of getting that far. And I remember my birthday is right around when the Super Bowl used to be traditionally played at the very end of January. And so it lined up that all of these gifts I could get were basically Packers related, and everything. NFC champions, Super Bowl merchandise, all of it. I can still picture the program, the hats, the sweatshirts, all of it that you just could not get enough of. And as more time went on, when the Packers won the Super Bowl, 15 years later, I bought the hat, but that was basically it. I think the older you get, the more removed you are from I need this and I need everything. But I had everything you could imagine during that Super Bowl run.
All right, so now's my chance to say how old I am and take your calls, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. You can text your memories in as well. But the one for me, 1983. So are either of you born at that juncture?
I was.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe slightly was the right word then. So I was 10, 11. And for the first time in my life, if you remember this era, Monday Night Football started at 8 p.m. Central Time, which was problematic on a school night, especially if your parents felt like it was bedtime right around kickoff. And so I somehow negotiated to be able to be allowed to stay up for the very first time for Monday Night Football for Packers and, at the time, Redskins. And it was, for a very long time, the highest scoring game in NFL history. The Packers win because Mark Mosley in this, 48-47 the final was, I believe, who won the MVP as a kicker the year before, which is, that's another topic for another show. I don't know how that happens. Misses the game-winning field goal at the end. And that was in an era when kicks were missed all the time, but not by that guy. He was a straight-on kicker, too, if I remember correctly. And so I remember, and I was exhausted at St. Paul's Lutheran School the next day, but it was worth every second of getting to stay up for that game, because if you are from that era, it was one of the few highlights during that era, right? There were plenty of shootouts with Lynn Dickey and James Lofton and that crew, but they were always mediocre to bad. 8-8 was like what they always did, right? And so that just if there was ever a moment for me that was never going to go away, it was the fact that my parents agreed to that. I believe I did not get another Monday night game, and I don't think the Packers were on Monday Night Football very often after that anyway, until I was like in college. But the way that game was back and forth, the scoring, I mean, if you enjoy points on the scoreboard, 48-47 is pretty tough to beat, and a game-winning field goal being missed at Lambeau Field. So for me, that's it. That's the one for me. But there are, despite the mediocrity of that era, there are some others. And we'll talk to someone who was on the field for one of them, which I'm not sure if he realized he was on the field or not. There was a whole thing on Twitter when I posted this over the weekend. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show, but we want yours. Your most, I guess it's your first real biggest memory, right? And by the way, you made the right call on the fullback, which is impressive. That's a pretty good pull by you. 844-770-3776. I can see the text messages rolling in, so we will get to some of those. We'll also get to your calls, 844-770-3776. Your earliest, most memorable Packers moments, inspired by Walter Stanley's son getting a contract with the Packers. We'll do more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside and no drafts, it's a game changer.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 5/10/2024.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Metro Kia of Madison is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home of the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle, Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. As always, at Metro Kia of Madison, you can enjoy 2 years of no-charge maintenance on any new vehicle. Browse their inventory and find this month's special at MetroKiaofMadison.com. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership today.
The second annual ESPN Madison Open is coming soon, and you can swing into the fun. Molly Brown here. Join us on Monday, August 5th at Bishops Bay Country Club and help raise money for the Miracle League of Dane County. Purchase a whole sponsorship, and you'll help provide adaptive equipment, uniforms, and a safe, inclusive environment where every child can thrive. Interested? Email ESPN Madison sales at goodkarmabrands.com. Sponsor a hole, donate, and make dreams come true with the Miracle League of Dane County, because every child deserves a chance to play ball.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
We're on the Packers.
We should have been an NFC championship.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And now we should be one of the prohibitive favorites in the NFC.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Four 770-3776. Jesse, I'm guessing that the text portion of the talk and text line is lighting up too.
Oh, yeah, they're rolling in.
Let's go to the phones first. 844-770-3776. Your first, most memorable Packers moment in honor of Walter Stanley's son making the team coming out of rookie camp. Let's go to Sparky in Sussex first. Sparky, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jason. How are you guys doing today?
Good. What do you got?
Well, I guess my earliest memory was watching the Ice Bowl and watching it on a color TV at my uncle's house. That was something at least new to me at the time. So that just stands out so vividly. I was 11 or 12. But I guess, yeah, and there's different moments through the years. And I was there for Brett's first touchdown pass. I was there when Al Harris got the pick in the playoffs. But I guess the memory that I'll always kind of cherish was we went up to Green Bay for the 96 Super Bowl celebration. And beyond just sitting outside for 5 or 6 hours as they tried to get through the streets, when they finally got there, the Packers walked into the stadium, getting up to the podium, and Don Beebe had the Super Bowl trophy. And he was just pumping that thing in the air. And I kind of thought about all that he had been through the years, and to see him finally was just so gratifying.
Yeah, one of the all-time great guys, too. That's a great one. I will say this, when I see the highlights of the Ice Bowl, are they always in color? Like for some reason in my brain, maybe because it was so long ago, I think of them, maybe it's just the photos that are in black and white, but I guess I never even thought about it being in color on television.
Yeah, my memories are black. Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just going to say my memories are black and white, but I'm same as you, Jason.
Well, I'm a little older.
Well, we know that, yes.
My memories.
No, but that if you remember it that vivid, and I do know that there's color video of it when I think about on the sideline when they come over to the sideline and then go, Lombardi says, well, then go, let's get the hell out of here and that, whatever. But I think it's just maybe the pictures and the photographs that for me are very, I don't want to say sepia toned because they're black and white, but you know what I mean, Justin?
The color references I remember are that, and then that's where the video of guys breathing and seeing that go out into the air. That's it, but it must just be still images because for the longest time, black and white was how I assumed everybody viewed it.
Right, exactly. Good call, Sparky. We appreciate you. We do have a former Packer scheduled to appear. He's also a former and I'm sure future Cousins sub of the day because Lord knows Tausch has got plenty of days coming where he's going to be off. But, Jesse, do you have a text or two that you wanted to get to, or do you want to try and get through more of these calls before we get to our surprise
With
guest?
the text, we'll wait. Let's see if we can get to the calls while we can.
All right, let's talk to Mark in a truck next. Mark, welcome. How you doing?
Hello, boys. How you doing? How you doing, Jason, my old friend?
That is such a non-Mark in a truck horn right there from the old days.
There, is that any better?
No, it's about the same. How you doing, buddy? What do you got?
All right. Well, just want to tell you, Jason, I've been listening to you for 19 years, and without a doubt, you are the best Packer reporter in this state, and there will never be another one. I never turn you off going, this guy's an idiot, like other shows. So my oldest
or what are those shows?
Is,
Whoa, Nelly!
the oldest memory I got is the 66 championship game, which, of course, like the last caller, that was the first game my dad got a color TV. So that was the first game we got to watch in color TV, and my memory is of Dave Robinson wrapping up Don Meredith and Tom Brown intercepting the pass to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that is so... I love the fact, Mark, that we have, and I say this with nothing but reverence and not just because you complimented me, I love that we have such a wide swath of age groups that someone can text in that it's Super Bowl 31. That's their earliest memory, or Favre, in Oakland, and you and Sparky can have the first game that you watched on color television. I love that.
Well, I'm so old, Jason. I only got 3 numbers on my Social Security number.
Thank you, Mark. Great to hear from you, buddy. 844-770-3776. Your earliest, most memorable Packers memories. Let's go to AC in Tosa. AC, what do you got?
Hey, good morning, sir. So, full disclosure, I was born in 81. First started watching the Packers probably 91 or else 92, Brett Favre's first season.
Okay.
I got all the Super Bowls and the Ice Bowl on DVD, but so it's probably not my first memory, but it is my most memorable memory. Aaron Rodgers to Donald Driver touchdown pass against the 49ers regular season when he broke 18,000 tackles. Donald Driver did. I think Andrew Corliss threw a block in there too. So not a playoff game, not a huge difference maker in the season, but great memory by me, and not my earliest memory either. I was an adult, but great memory.
It is a great, and it's so, I remember writing about it. It's so typified Donald Driver, right? Like the guy that at one point grew up in a U-Haul, right? Like it was the determination that he shows on that play. Like if there was a play that crystallized a person, that was it. And it was toward the end of his run too. Like he was kind of an afterthought at that point with that team, So great memory, AC. We appreciate that one. That's a good one. All right, let's do one more call so we can get to our surprise guest who was on the field for Walter Stanley's punt return. Let's go to Don in Sun Prairie. Don, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Like the other guys, I'm pretty old, so my first memorable memory was the Ice Bowl. I remember that it was so cold that we didn't have to go to church that morning because our car wouldn't start. And the fact that my dad was outside with my oldest brother working on the car during the Ice Bowl, and I was the only one watching it. My mom was in the kitchen, and when Bart Starr snuck across, I was on the couch. I was on the edge of the couch. I remembered jumping up off the couch so high that I almost hit my head on the ceiling.
Don, how old were you?
I was 9 years old.
Okay, that is exactly what we were looking for. That's awesome. I can't. So wait, I guess I don't know how those games. Were there plenty of replays that you could call your dad and your brother in to catch the
No.
replay of the big play? Even
No, there was no replays.
Wow.
They saw it later on, of course, on the news, and of course I told them about it. But my dad wasn't into sports. His main concern was getting that car running.
So you could get to church next Sunday. Don, that's a great memory.
Yeah,
we appreciate
so you
you,
get
buddy.
to work on Monday.
Yes,
You
exactly.
bet. Take care, guys.
All right. So let's keep those calls going, but we're going to talk. I'm going to reveal his identity. Gary Ellerson is going to join us next. Frequent cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. But he was on the field for that Walter Stanley punt return. Or at least he was in the celebration. I guess I can't confirm whether he was on the punt return team or not. We'll ask him that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Every week on Prep Mania, we're talking to local athletes, coaches, administrators, and more. Find full show podcasts commercial-free wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Prep Mania on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Jim Rutledge here, and I want to tell you about the Bruce Company, Dane County's premier retailer of outdoor furniture. They'll help you elevate your outdoor living space like they have for me. Exceptional craftsmanship, all the latest styles, colors, and durable materials that hold up to whatever Wisconsin weather brings. From deep seating to dining, pick your set and the Bruce Company will customize it to fit your style. Visit their furniture showroom in Middleton and let their trained staff help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
This was really fun to stumble into over the weekend, and I have to give credit where credit is due, because as much as I would love to pretend that I have very vivid memories of my young Packers time, Ben Shaw was the one who pointed out that this guy is in the end zone celebrating Walter Stanley's game-winning touchdown on Thanksgiving in Detroit in '86, I think. And now he's an often cousin sub of the day. You hear him on the Homer Hour once a week. You see him on Spectrum Sports' Roundtable with Leroy Butler and Dennis Krause. But in this clip, you see him in the end zone celebrating his number 42 jersey. It is Gary Ellerson on Wilde and Tausch. Gary, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Great. So, all right, take me through this, because one of your moments in time as a player is one of my earliest memories of a great Packers moment. What do you remember of Walter Stanley's punt return for a touchdown to beat the Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving? And were you on the field for the play, or did you run onto the field to celebrate?
Yeah, I ran out on the field. I was not involved in the play. I was not on the punt return unit. But I can remember Forrest Gregg is telling special teams coach and then our strength and conditioning coach, Virgil Knight, let's just set up the return. We're going to fair catch it. Let's set the return up, Walter.
or not.
Yeah, is everybody good with that? All the coaches. Yes. Coach, I think we can set the return up. We'll send, and then we got 3 plays. I think we can get at least 3 plays in and get close enough. I think we can get a touchdown off this. So we're just going to have Walter fair catch it and set the return up. And then all of a sudden, they punt the ball, right? And Forrest going, because I'm standing beside Forrest, and Forrest, he is saying some words I can't say now. But
Thank you.
Bleakity Bleak is not going to fair catch it. That Bleakity Bleak is not going to fair catch it. He's not fair catching it. I see it. And then next thing you know, Walter does this little turnaround, whatever he does, get to the sideline, and Forrest's like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy, Walter. There he goes. That's my boy.
Just like he drew it up, but didn't. So you're standing on the sideline, and it looks, again, this is before the time that I was covering the team because I was a freshman in high school, but it looks like you guys actually go for the block. It's not like there were that you guys were prepared to set up a really good return. So clearly you're going for the block, and if he gets it away, Walter fair catches it, and then you go from there. So is it one of those no, yes kind of moments?
That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. I'm standing beside Forrest, and he was supposed to fair catch it, and he figured out right away. Walter's hand's not coming up. He's not fair catching this thing. And then next thing you know, he takes it back to the house. That was a hell of a play by Walter, because when you do something like that, you better make it work.
Yes. So take me through that 86 season. I mean, look, I have enough of the older players that I have relationships with. You know, I love every time we go to the Lombardi golf tournament, I get to see Lynn Dickey and Paul Kaufman. But it's always amazing to me because it sure seems like not a lot of guys liked playing for Forrest Gregg. So what was that season like as a whole? And what was that moment like? Because, you know, you guys were in an era where it wasn't a lot of primetime games like we're accustomed to now when the schedule comes out soon. Yeah. And playing on Thanksgiving was one of the rare times that people got to see the Packers on a national stage, and I think the final score of that game was like 44-40. So what was that season like, and what was that game like?
Well, you're always going to have maybe 3 primetime games, right? 2 of them is going to be against the Chicago Bears. And if you're lucky enough to get Thanksgiving, that'd be the other one. But for sure, you're going to be on prime television when we play the Chicago Bears, because the stories was always about Mike Ditka and Forrest Gregg, George Halas, Vince Lombardi.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had Soldier Field, Lambeau Field. I mean, you had both 2 storied organizations in the NFL. So they were always out front as far as that. For that's the truth. And so then we look at that, and plus the Bears were good. We were not, but we made it interesting because we always got in. Something always happened. I shouldn't say we always got into a fight, but I think we did. So something always exciting would happen surrounding that game when we played the Bears. So we were guaranteed for sure 2 primetime games against the Chicago Bears.
All right. So then lastly, because I know you've got, more important things than us bothering you, so thanks for making time for us. What about that game itself? What other aspects of it do you remember? We all, those of us that watched it, we all remember the punt return to win the game at that critical time. Summerall and Madden are on the call if you're watching it on television, which is amazing.
Crazy.
But that was a back and forth. Like, it, quite frankly, while it's not as burned into my memory as the 83 Monday night game was, when you would have still been a Badger at that point for that game, I think. Yep. But, that was a back-and-forth game, too. What do you remember from the game itself?
Well, I think more important, just to lead up to the game, was one of those games because we weren't very good that we thought we could win. But going into Pontiac, people don't know that's what it was, but we thought that we could, at Silverdome, we thought that's a game that we could get. And Forrest was pretty hyped up all that week, knowing that that's the game that we could come in there and win, because they weren't very good at the time, right? The class of the NFC, what were we the NFC? What was it called back then?
The Central.
The NFC Central, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Central that particular time. So they were we were both bottom feeders, so we knew that was a game that we had to get. We knew we weren't going to go to the playoffs, but just for bragging rights in the NFC Central, we knew that was a game that we could possibly win.
So for those that were too young to remember this, the Bears were the defending Super Bowl champs in '86. The '85 Bears had won the title. The standings in the NFC Central
in
1986.
Oh, my God.
Finishing in we'll work our way to the top.
Okay.
Finishing last in the 5-team division were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They went 2-14.
Oh my God!
Finishing 4th with that huge win on Thanksgiving, being one of their 4 wins, were the 1986 Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah.
Finishing 3rd, also not making the playoffs, not making it to 500. At 5-11, the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
And finishing 2nd, and I don't think they went to the playoffs either. They did get over 500 though. The 9-7 Minnesota Vikings. And the Chicago Bears, the defending Super Bowl champs, went 14-2 to win the division.
Right.
Certainly helped to play those other 4 teams for much of your season based on how that went. Gary, I know Tausch has got a lot of days off coming up. We look forward to you being a cousin sub. Thanks for carving out a little bit of your day for us, buddy.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Gary Ellerson, he was there in 1986. That's what prompted this topic. We'll take more of your calls and your texts coming up during the 11 o'clock hour. Jesse, you want to play a little trivia?
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
All right. Jesse was up very late, not working on clips from the roast of Tom Brady, but putting together the Sports Weekend Recap trivia. Caller number 7 right now. Caller 7, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We will play trivia next. Justin Garcia is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Just like when general managers make big decisions that propel a franchise forward, you can make a game-changing decision for your home by making the switch to solar energy with Everlight Solar. Our family was looking to make the switch to solar for quite some time, but we weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Learn more about why a career at Stoughton Trailers might be for you. Go to stojobs.com.
With this Badger Minute, I'm Jesse Nelson. ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. Making the announcement official, Good Karma Brand CEO Craig Karmazin.
We are going to be the new home of the Wisconsin volleyball program and the flagship home for a best-in-class program that has absolutely captivated this entire fan base, and couldn't be more excited to share that announcement with our fans.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh. Summer's coming quick. You better celebrate it right with my friends from Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in Door County. Talk about classic. How about that green bottle of gin? The multiple-time award-winning single malt whiskey. And when it comes to Door County, you can't leave out the cherry-flavored vodka. Find them all at a retailer near you or check out their website with a huge list of unique cocktail recipes at DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
Let's play some trivia. Thanks, by the way, to Gary Ellerson for making some time to tell us his perspective on Walter Stanley's punt return. It is important for me to remember that there's a hell of a lot of people a lot younger than me. So these types of moments that were signature moments for me, I don't want it to turn into old guy radio like Homer would do, where he would tell his guests, I look forward to having you on again if you're still alive. So I apologize for maybe going a little old school. And Justin, you're still significantly younger than me. Let's play some trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Tim in Madison. Tim, good morning. How are you?
Morning, I'm good.
Tim, what's your most memorable first Packers memory that you remember most clearly?
Desmond Howard returning either a kickoff or a punt return the length of the field for a touchdown. I was young and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool as I was sitting in my press row seat at the New Orleans, Louisiana Superdome. All right, here we go. The category is the Sports Weekend Recap. If you were listening to the show last week, you know that one of us knows the answer to question 1. That question is this. Which team won producer Hunter Vaughn's favorite event of the weekend? Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. Who won that game? Toronto, Boston, or the fans who watched? Game 7 hockey never disappoints.
The Bruins.
Indeed they did. Justin, I understand that there have been many last-second shots you've covered during your time on the Bucks. An overtime goal in a Game 7 in hockey, is there anything better?
There's nothing better than Game 7 hockey to begin with. You got to really emphasize the W in there, although it's been a rough watch for me with my team out of it for the last couple of years. But yes, I still will carve out time for a Game 7. I saw bits and pieces of that Bruins victory over the weekend.
Wait, who's your team? The Arizona Wildcats?
Well, I mean, we've gotten into this before. The Arizona Wildcats are my college basketball team. The LSU Tigers are my college football team because of Rohan Davey back in the day.
Oh, great
My
call.
hockey team is the St. Louis Blues, and it's been a rough go at it the last couple of years.
They've been singing the blues.
We did. It was a great experience.
All right, question 2, Justin.
Question number 2, which horse won the 2024 Kentucky Derby? Forever Young, Society Man, or Mystic Dan?
I'm not much of a horse guy. What are the options?
Forever Young, Society Man, or Mystic Dan?
Let's go Mystic Dan.
Nice. Well done. I think they should have a horse named Florida Man at some point. I would like to see that.
That's one of those that it's really easy if you watched it and really not easy if you didn't watch it.
So those are not real horse names, the first 2,
No,
Jesse?
they were all in the race. All those were real horses in the race. Yep.
All right. Well, I did not watch the race, and I don't like horse racing. All right, question 3, Tim, for an opportunity to get us off to a perfect week start, is this. A baseball game between which of these two teams experienced a 3-hour rain delay with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning on Saturday? Was that the Red Sox and Twins, the White Sox and Cardinals, or the Orioles and Reds?
White Sox and Cardinals.
Jesse, I was unaware of this, so they had to wait 3 hours to play one more out?
Yeah, and if I can add, it was not only 2 outs, it was 2 outs and 1 strike.
And a strike, yeah. Like 3 hours. They come back after 3-hour rain delay. Nobody's in the stadium. Everybody went home. All those great Cardinal fans, best fans in baseball. They all went home. And, struck out the guy, end of the game. Just like that. So they all waited 3 hours just to come back, finish it off. 2 strikes to go. Game over.
Well, game over for trivia as well. And, Tim, you got us off to a perfect start. 3 for 3. You got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. Thanks for playing, buddy. Good work.
All right, thank you.
So what's the rule there? Like, it's because it's an interleague game, so you obviously, Like, you have to finish the game? Like, you're waiting for it? Like, explain to me why they waited that long. They can't just call it?
Well, what you're usually looking at, and if you're the umpiring crew and the teams.
And you, of course, with your Major League umpiring experience.
Little League umpire, former chairman of the Muskego Athletic Association umpires, do have some credibility to speak to this.
How many did you oversee?
It was like 75 umpires. There were a lot of umpires.
And how old were you when you were doing this?
21, 22.
Did they really feel good about having some pipsqueak be their boss?
I was told
And you specifically?
There is no official record of this to be able to say, but I was told it once, and so I've gone with it.
The most popular president.
No, not the most popular. I brought best partier, I think, was me. Either me or Tim. But no, I was told I was one of the youngest city officials.
You don't say.
Because, technically that's a city official position as part of the Muskego
And then you ran for
Athletic
alderman.
Association. Yeah, no, I ended up hanging it up after that. But, yeah, so if you have the rain delay going on, depending on the time of the game, they could choose to come back and, finish it the next day and then start the next game after that. They said, let's wait it out. It was a 3:10 first pitch, so they're not going anywhere. They're like, let's just wait it out and play it today and rest up for tomorrow. And they knew it was going to pass through. They just didn't think it was going to take 3 hours, and there they were.
Yeah, and they knew, so it was a torrential downpour, and they played through it longer than they should have because of that, and knowing it's going to pass through. And you could see the groundskeeper talking to the umpire and both managers during the game too, kind of letting him know, hey, it should be out of the way here. So it was just a moment of, all right, we've waited too long. We can't let this go, because there were pools of water. The infield was an absolute mess and disaster that I was frankly surprised they let it go on as long as they did.
So they had to use up a lot of that diamond dust, which reminds me of the
couple of bags of it, yeah.
Bags of stuff they used to throw on your school linoleum floors when people threw up. Kind of a similar concept, yeah.
We joke about my credibility speaking to the subject matter here, but we did have a few instances where we were playing Little League games, and if it was a 6, and a lot of them, Little League games, they have time limits on them. No new inning after an hour, 50 minutes, or 2 hours, or whatever. Yep. And so we'd have games that would go 90 minutes, and it's tie game, or two of the teams that are two of the best in the league for battling for positioning, and then the rain would start, and some of the umpires would just be like, let's get out of here, let's go home. And I was one that always let's wait it out, let's see where I get. And little did I know,
thank you for your service.
Later on, I found out all the coaches wanted to go home too. I thought I was doing everybody a favor by saying, let's wait it out, get your money's worth here. I didn't realize that no one had the passion for the game like I did, and everybody wanted to go home.
The coach is the one dad that was the last to be able to avoid that. And I guess it's me this year.
All the other diamonds went home, but diamond 3, we're still waiting it out just in case it clears up a little bit here.
That is such a great Jesse story. That really says a lot about
love of the game.
Bunch of levels. All right, we will get back to your most memorable youth Packers moments, because we got a ton of texts on it. If you still want to call, 844-770-3776. We'll do that to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. That happens in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott and Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. Well, what's right around the corner? Mother's Day. Show some love to the incredible women in your life and stop at Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. I recommend Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison, and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Subscribe to watch all your favorite daily shows. Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe, exclusively streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That includes today. And featured special content. Subscribe today to watch ESPN Madison on YouTube. The Brewers won the initial revenge game against Craig Counsell and the Chicago Cubs on Friday, but the Cubs get the last laugh, winning 2 of 3 to close out the series. over the weekend, including a 5-0 shutout victory for the home team at Wrigley Field yesterday. Entering play today, the Brewers 20-13, the Cubs 21-14, tied atop the NL Central standings. It's early in the season, but always fun to start thinking about if those two teams could come down to the wire at the end of the year. The Brewers back in action tonight visiting the Kansas City Royals due to incoming severe weather in Kansas City. Start time for the game has been moved up. Originally scheduled for 6:40, it's now a 6:05 first pitch for the Brewers and Royals tonight in Kansas City. Schedule accordingly. Tonight also at 6 o'clock, the Great Dane Huddle on 100.5 ESPN. I'll be joined by a surprise special guest host. You want to find out who it is?
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. It continues with your most memorable early Packers moments. Justin, did you have anything else on your list? Because you had the pull of Adam Walker. I got to be honest.
I mean,
you
that
could have
was,
given me 100 guesses. I would have never pulled that. So well done.
Well, that was the prime of my heavily invested in everything about the teams. Because that was that Niners team. I don't remember if he was injured. They had William Floyd. Who was their other run? Was it Ricky Irvins on that team? They didn't really run in that game. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really run in that game from what I remember. It was just Steve Young and Jerry Rice. The only other memory that really sticks out, and again, it's a little later, was what year was it? 2002 or 3 when Vonnie Holliday broke the sack record. So I went to college in La Crosse. I was home from on winter break when that happened, and my mom and her brother have season tickets for the Packers, and we had it for close to 30 years now. So I went to the game with my uncle basically because no one else wanted to go. So it was the two of us driving up to Green Bay for that game against the Bills and got to witness Vonnie Holliday make history.
The starters on the 1995 San Francisco 49ers. Steve Young at quarterback, Derek LaVille.
Oh, yeah.
And William Floyd in the backfield. Jerry Rice, John Taylor, and Brent Jones, your top targets in the passing game.
J.J. Stokes was just emerging, too.
The offensive line, Steve Wallace, Jesse Sapolu, one of Jesse's favorite players. Spells it like Jesse does. Bart Oates, nephew of Tom Oates. Rod Milstead and Harris Barton. I just wanted to be able to say Harris Barton.
Was Jesse Sapolo, did he wear the double helmet?
Like the Great Gazoo? I don't know. I'll have to go into the archives of the video now, which is, again, isn't this your area of expertise, 1995 49ers players? You want to give me the defensive starting lineup with Merton Hanks?
Oh, Merton Hanks. Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good pull.
Ken Norton Jr., Dana Stubblefield. All right. Let's get to your calls. 844-770-3776. Let's start with John in Madison. John, take us back down memory lane. What do you got from your Packers fandom early on?
Way back in the archives, 1963, October 13, my first Packer game. I'm 9 years old. Packers at the old Met in Minneapolis. And here's why I remember it and why I think Tausch will appreciate it. My mother gets me on a bus with a bunch of old retired doctors, and we go from Rice Lake to Minneapolis. A guy you might remember way back when, Jason, a guy named Don Riley comes on our bus. He wrote for the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and he calls the Packers the Bushwhackers and all this. Anyway, flash to the game. Packers are up 30-28. My mother has bought me a little pool ticket. I'm going to win because I've got the number 8. I'm going to win like $100, a lot for a kid. Okay. Tarkenton drives the Vikings the length of the field. Fred Cox lines up to win the game and cost me my money. Nope. Willie Wood blocks the field goal. I'm cheering. Oh, my God, I'm going to win. It bounces to Hank Greminger. He goes 80 yards for a touchdown. All the Packer fans are screaming and cheering, and my mother leans over and says, "This is why gambling is a hard life." I'll never forget it. It still brings chills to me. My mother's long gone. She'd still remember it. So I'm no good at prize picks. I want to tell you, I'm no good at prize picks.
I was going to say, how has that influenced your later gambling or your wagering?
Yeah, I am not much of a gambler. I'm put $5 down and I'm sweating.
Well, that is an awesome story. I love it. And by the way, what was it like? I know it's a long time ago, and now it's the Mall of America. But what was it like, John, seeing a game at the Met? Like, that was back when the Vikings played in cold weather too. They weren't a dome team.
Oh, absolutely. I went to a bunch of games there. My mom would always take me to the Packer Viking game. I remember when I was a junior in high school. It is like 100 below zero. It's 1971-ish, let's say. And all I really remember, when you went to the bathroom in the old Met, the men's urinals were these big, like, tubs, like you see in a horse barn or something. And I'm standing there as a little high school kid, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm not going to be able to pee with all these people watching. It was cold. But, Lombardi's on the sidelines for a lot of those early games. And actually, I think my first game in 63, if I'm not mistaken, the Badgers played the day before. We all went up, and the Badgers, Milt Bruins, close to his last seasons. So it was wild. It was a wild time.
Dude, great stories, John. We appreciate that. I couldn't agree more, by the way, with the troughs. I remember going to Minnesota early on in my writing career, and they still used those. Like Williams Arena had them, and Mariucci Arena when I would cover hockey games. I don't mean to be crass, but who thought that was a good idea? Is that am I wrong to think that I wasn't a fan? Let me just put it that way.
My experience with it was obviously at Wrigley Field, and I had been to County Stadium prior to that, but I remember seeing it for the first time and having the feelings that John did as well, and thinking, wait a minute, are they all like this? Like, am I going to have to get used to this lifestyle if I use the bathroom at a stadium?
Your most memorable peeing into a trough memories,
without question,
on Wilde and Tausch. Let's get to a couple more calls. Let's get to Steve in Middleton. Steve, good morning. Thanks for holding on. What do you got for us?
Yeah, hi guys. I was born in '51, and for some reason I remember the Packers playing the Redskins in like 1958 or 9. But the first game I really remember watching was at my grandmother's house in 1960. The Packers and the Eagles, a championship game, and that dirty Chuck Bednarik. And the Packers are going down for the win, and he tackles Taylor and wouldn't let him get up. And they ended up losing. And afterwards, supposedly, Lombardi said, "Gentlemen, this is the last championship game we're ever going to lose."
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of that.
Steve, since we had a couple other calls earlier, I'm curious, do you remember when you would watch games and they were in color for the first time? I know that's a crazy question to ask in 2024, but like, I'm fascinated by that because that had to be such a game changer for being a fan.
I think it was late 60s, but I know we didn't get a color TV for like a few years after they came out because they were pretty expensive to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big deal. I think seems like by 65 or 66, 7. I know the first Super Bowl was in color, so they had it by then.
I think
I don't know why the Packers, they make this big deal about three-peat. The Packers won 3 world championships in a row. I'm sorry. I don't care if there was no Super Bowl or not for the first one. But.
You're right. Thanks for the call. We appreciate it. I will say this. We had, and Justin, again, we'll see how big the age difference is here. But there was a time, it's kind of like the line in in Back to the Future. How many TVs do you have? You must be rich. We had the one like console with like the wood outside of it.
That was a piece of furniture. That
Yes.
just sat on the floor. Yeah, we had the same.
And then, but our other TV that I remember watching, on those rare times that like the Brewers were on channel 18 or whatever it was in my youth, we still had our second TV was black and white. Like, and I don't think I'm that old, but maybe it just took us a while to get a second TV that wasn't a piece of furniture, because it was on like a cart that you could roll around in our basement, but it was black. I remember watching Bucks playoff games that were being broadcast in color, but I was watching them in black and white.
Ours was just a box. So there was no wheels. You had to move that thing yourself, and my parents moved a lot, even though they'll dispute it. I think I lived in like 4 different houses when I was a kid, and moving that thing over and over and over. And just not only that, tube TVs. You remember how friggin' heavy those were and how inconvenient to move? Even like a 27-inch tube TV, which you thought was ginormous, moving that thing and thinking about in perspective now how that relates to the TVs we look at.
Did you have to move one of those when you were helping Ashton Rotman move?
I did not, thankfully.
He's got newer technology.
Cited a back issue for that one, yeah.
All right, let's get to one last call, and then we'll do texts in the next segment. Let's go to Skip in Jefferson. Skip, thanks for holding on. What's your memory from your younger days as a Packers fan?
Yeah, good morning, Jason. I've got this is like a 2-part memory, sweet and sour, but
sure.
My dad was, like all of us, big Packer fan. I was 10 years old when they won it in 96. And seeing his excitement and him telling me about, boy, you got to really remember this and cherish this and take it in, it really got me going on the team. And now from that point on, I've been obviously a very avid fan and follow them deeply. So that's what got me going on everything, and seeing that joy in my dad, who is a rock of a man. Now, the sour side of this, and not that it's a fond memory, but it is a memory, and it's burned into my brain. I'll never forget it. When Brett retired, I'll say the first of the original time, and he had the press conference.
Yep.
I came home from school. Yeah, exactly. I love you, Brett. But I came home from school, and I happened to catch that press conference with my dad, who again was a rock of a man. One of probably 4 times in my life that I saw my dad cry. And that's something I never forgot. He made me cry and gave me a hug and everything. And it's just, the beginning and end and the ups and downs we go through with all of our teams. Those are my memories that I won't forget.
That's a great story, Skip. I do have to ask, since Jesse became then a Jets fan and a Vikings fan, how did your dad handle the fact that Favre did not stay retired?
Yeah, he didn't really care for it. I think it wouldn't have been so bad if didn't care so much about the Jets, but yeah, I wasn't really happy when he went to the rival Vikings, of course. But still had a little bit of love for him, when he wasn't playing us and had his, those gunslinger moments, it'd still make you laugh and chuckle and smile knowing, what he did for us and everything. So a little bit happy for him, but would have been better if he was maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. Awesome story, Skip. Thanks for sharing it. We appreciate you. My memory of my dad and the Packers was just how pissed he would get that they would have trick or treat in Milwaukee at the same time as Packers games on Sunday. And how irritated he was about my mom taking us trick or treating, and we would come home. We didn't, you didn't get. It's not like the Wilde girls get now, where once we're done with our neighborhood, Dad drives them to one of the neighboring neighborhoods where we have friends, and they get to trick or treat some more. You were on foot for the whole thing. Yeah. And so we would come back, and there would be still trick-or-treaters in the third quarter, and he was not pleased that he had to go give out candy at the front door. That was not his favorite holiday. I remember that very vividly.
You were on foot for the whole thing, and the weather was always terrible.
Yeah. Yes.
That's from what I remember. It was always raining. We would get snow occasionally. My Packers memory of my dad, he is a die-hard Packers fan presently, probably even more of a fan than I am. But when I was a kid, he may, and I don't know if he's listening to this now, he may deny this. My dad was a very, very heavy Dallas Cowboys fan, and this was in the era of the Cowboys always ending the Packers season and embarrassing them. I'm not quite sure where that fandom came from, but it existed, and that is the one thing I remember from our household was him basically viewing all those playoff games as, hey, it's a win-win.
So I get that, though. Like, they were America's team, right? Like, and especially, I would just say this from my youth, is that the Packers were so consistently mediocre. Not that I'm old enough to be your dad, by the way.
And that's, I was going to say, the one thing, or the two things, I suppose, that were constantly driven into me from that uncle, my Uncle Scott, I went to that Vonnie Holiday game with, and a few others in my family were, look, I know they're good now. Number one, you have no idea how bad this team was in the 80s and what we had to sit through. And then conversely as well, you would complain about the Bucs, and you have no idea how good it was during that same era and what we got to witness at the Mecca.
I became a San Diego Chargers fan because they were always the late game on NBC. And they were so much fun to watch, right? And then they were on the verge of a Super Bowl in 81, and it was like minus 50 degrees in Cincinnati, and they lost. And the Bucs, my memories of my youth, we had Marcus Johnson on last week, and obviously he and Sidney Moncrief and Junior Bridgman are all from my era, and I love those teams. But you always were just waiting. Is it going to be the 76ers or the Celtics that break your heart and they don't get any further
Hawks
in the playoffs? Right. I mean, I just remember being so excited and always so bummed. And you would get past one only to lose to the other.
Waiting.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yes, this has been a fun walk down memory lane. We need to get to your texts on this because Jesse's got hundreds of them. It was a great topic. I appreciate everyone chiming in on it. I will say this. If you're a Packers fan and you were there at the beginning, you and Associated Bank have something in common. They've been the official bank of the Packers. They were there when the Packers began, and they're there for you now with the best customer service in the industry and Packers checking from Associated Bank. You get 10% off the Packers Pro Shop in-store and online. You get that nifty Packers Debit MasterCard, and most importantly, you get that great customer service. They got all the awards to prove they're the best. Go to AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. We'll get to your text memories next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, and when I was on the hunt for a hot tub, I found Patio Pleasures, a locally owned family business. Patio Pleasures has a passion for making your home a place for recovery and relaxation. And that's why I'm excited about my new cold plunge from Patio Pleasures. They only showcase premium recovery and relaxation products, and that's how I know it's going to be great. Gear up for spring and check out Patio Pleasures' two incredible showrooms, Madison West and Sun Prairie.
With Mother's Day just around the corner, show that special woman in your life just how much she means to you. Head over to Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier store on Atwood and treat her to delightfully delicious chocolates crafted to perfection right here in Madison. Once you taste that difference that locally owned and made chocolates provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Make this Mother's Day one to remember with a box of chocolates from Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier on Atwood.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside and no drafts, it's a game changer.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 5/10/2024.
What is a better buying experience? Well, you're minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. To me, a better buying experience is a personal experience. That's what Dan and his sales team have set up at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're going to have the experience that you're looking for. You're going to define what that better buying experience is for you, and they're going to get you in the vehicle that you need and that you want, whether it's new or new to you. So when you're looking for a better buying experience, go to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
I am our team lead at Stone Trailer. I've been here for 10 years, perfect attendance. couple of things that I like to do around here extra is the safety committee. It's one of these things that helps our people. Me and my wife are traveling. We kind of look for all the Stoughton trailers that we can see. It's kind of exciting showing her what I do for a career. My name is Rich, and I am proud to be a part of Stoughton Trailers.
Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. You can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is underway, and they want you to pack out Breeze Stevens Field. Need a night out with the whole family? Try the Forward Madison Family Special presented by MG&E. Score a ticket to the match, a meal, and an FMFC scarf, all for just $25 per person. Visit forwardmadisonfc.com to purchase your tickets today. That's forwardmadisonfc.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I'm not afraid of getting older. I want less day from dying young. I see the light and go past my shoulder. I want less day from dying young. And I'm not afraid of getting older. I want less day from dying.
We'll get to your text messages here momentarily. Also, I know we've enjoyed this walk down memory lane. In the year of our Lord 2024, and in fact, in about a little less than an hour, a little more than an hour, we're going to talk to Jeff Hafley today. And we're going to talk to Adam Stenovich. So we're going to talk to the assistant coaches throughout the week, which is great because I've talked to Jeff Hafley once. So he's going to speak today. We'll hopefully get some more insights into what this defense will look like and his thoughts on what the process has been like. That's something we'll be able to talk about tomorrow when I believe, Jesse, Tausch is scheduled to return, scheduled to appear on his own show, yes?
He is scheduled to return with us tomorrow. He is at a undisclosed location, and I'm sure he will tell us all about what he's got going on today when he hosts with us tomorrow.
Do we need to have a backup plan? Do we need, like, Justin Garcia on the Ready 5 just in case? Or?
Well, that's what I'm here for.
So you're good. I was going to ask Tausch where he was headed, that he was off today, but when I saw him, he could not get out of the building fast enough. So.
Yeah,
so much for that.
I sense that hurt your feelings. You made a special trip, deliver his gifts, and he kind of gave you the Heisman. Hey, thanks for the gifts. I got to go.
I would say it was a half Heisman. It wasn't a full-on Heisman, but I guess I know I can't apply the word friend to Tausch now.
You can still use it with me, even if he doesn't think so. All right, let's take one more call. Then we'll get to your text. Let's talk to Russ in Idaho. We are huge in Idaho. Russ, good morning. What do you got for us?
You are huge in Idaho. So I was born in 1951, and my memory, which may have some flaws, you guys can look this up.
Okay.
We were visiting my uncle in Economowoc, and the Packers were playing the Lions. And the Lions were winning late in the game, and they lined up to kick a field goal. And this is a similar scenario to a recent caller. And the Packers blocked the field goal, and for some reason I thought Horning was part of this, but they ran it back for a TD and won, like, in the last seconds of the game. That's my memory. And the other thing I wanted to share, so I absolutely loved Ray Scott. I mean, he was the master of understatement, and he would just, hand off Taylor and just let the play out. None of this added drama and stuff that we see today. And, I thought he was a master. And the other thing I want to share, so my dad's favorite Packer was Jerry Kramer. And ironically,
Idaho,
where I live in Idaho, Jerry Kramer lives in Boise, and he's from Kamiah. And about 5 years ago, I was going down the street, and he was coming toward me, and I walked up and just said, "You're Jerry Kramer. You were my dad's favorite player." He was incredibly gracious. He shook my hand. He said, "Thank you." Yeah, it was a really neat experience. And unfortunately, my dad had passed by that time, but yeah.
He is one of the all-time great dudes. I just absolutely love Jerry Kramer, so I love that you got to have that interaction with him, but I'm not in any way surprised by it because that's how he treats everybody. Yep. Like, there are guys that, they glad hand when it suits them. He's like that literally all the time with everyone, and that's one of the great things about him. Russ, thanks for the call. We appreciate
Very genuine.
it. Yeah.
Very welcome. Thanks, guys.
So Russ brought up, it jogged my memory from another one of those Packers when they weren't very good eras. And that was when Chester Markole had his kick blocked against the Bears and then returned it for a touchdown. And then he wrote later in his biography that he was high on cocaine when he did it, which I was not aware of when I was a youth. So that was a memorable moment in a Packers game. That might have been before that. That has to be before the Monday night game. So maybe that qualifies as my earliest memory now that we've gone through this entire exercise. Jesse, what do you have on the text messages?
So a few people have brought this one up, including this 608. My first memory was the Halloween Bears-Packers game in 1994. Mud and muck with throwback uniforms. I'll always remember the guy that jumped out of the stands for the ball.
Yes, to catch the ball.
I don't know what this one is. What was this?
Kidding me?
So it's a rainy night at Soldier Field.
I was 3, Justin. Give me a break.
Well, yeah, but there's YouTube.
True.
The internet.
So and I think Favre throws like a 99-yard touchdown
I was going to say,
pass.
didn't this have the 90-plus?
To Robert Brooks. This is a couple years before I started covering the team. But there's a guy who, at the old Soldier Field, there was the tunnel like you have at Lambeau for the visitors. If you've been to Lambeau, you know that they go up this kind of narrow tunnel.
This game.
And this guy, it goes
sitting
over
on the aisle
bar.
And
the ball, I don't know why, I guess as I think back on it, I don't know the specifics of it, but did they not have nets back then, or did it go over the net? But this guy jumps, and he grabs the ball like he's in the middle of the tunnel, and then he obviously, gravity takes him down after catching it. And you don't really know how far down he's going because the camera angle does not show it. Like, he could have dropped another 75 feet for all
we don't know that he survived, to be honest. We all saw the video. We don't know what happened to that guy.
Does he get interviewed? I think he gets interviewed later in the game. So he's not dead. He survived the fall. But I think we got to check with Waddle and Sylvie. Sylvie would definitely remember this. Waddle, I think he had retired by then, so he wasn't playing anymore. But that guy, yes, that's a great pull. Really good.
That 94 season, too, was one of the earliest memories for me of the NFL because of all the throwbacks that they were incorporating for the 75th anniversary.
Correct.
All of those jerseys that the Packers have moved on to the iteration of what they use then as their throwback now, but just seeing that with every single team, that to me is one of those vivid memories of the Packers, the Bears with their striped jerseys, the Steelers with a similar one.
Jesse, what other text you got?
Robert in Florida. My favorite moment was being at the playoff game at Lambeau Field where the Packers held Barry Sanders to -1 yard rushing. Which playoff run was this? I don't remember this one.
I want to. That's either 93 or 94.
Because 93 was the Silverdome win, wasn't it?
Yes, the touchdown
Sharp. So
to
I think
Sharp.
that was the year after.
Yes, because I watched that game in a hotel room because the Badgers were in the Hall of Fame Bowl.
Fame Bowl, yes. And I was going to say, this one, that also should have, not the -1, but the Silverdome win should have really been what I should have. This is my first vivid memory. The George Teague interception and pick six as well in the end zone. Because that game, I mentioned jokingly, my parents moved all the time. They were building a house when I was going into middle school, I think it was, and we moved into a townhouse as it was being completed. And I want to say the move was like that weekend. So I remember being surrounded by boxes and just like not helping at all and sitting in the kitchen and watching that game on a small like 9-inch tube TV.
So basically what you're telling me is all the times you've helped Ashton Rotman move, it was making up for the fact you didn't help your own family move.
10 times as many as I helped my own family.
Jesse, what else you got?
There are a bunch of texts talking about the 1989 We Have a Reversal game with the Bears-Packers, which was also... I've seen the YouTube videos of that one, but
that was before you were born, too.
Yeah, that one was... I wasn't even around at that time. But
upon further review, the Bears still suck.
Yes. So what was that one? Like, were you watching at the time? I know you weren't covering the team yet, but where were you when that one happened?
Yeah, so I was in high school, and I don't have a vivid memory of that. It's Don Makowski perhaps being over the line of scrimmage when he throws a game-winning touchdown pass against the Bears. And it was the first iteration, it's a great word, Justin, of replay. And then they did away with replay, and then Jerry Rice fumbles in the TO game, and replay makes a comeback because that should have been a very easy reversal from that game and that playoff game back in the 98 season, January of 99.
I forget where I was, but it was I was in college, and I was driving back to campus in La Crosse, and I want to say it was like in Boston or something, one of those types of cities. And I stopped at the gas station to get some gas, and they were selling T-shirts. And this was years afterwards, but they still had green T-shirts with gold print that said Jerry Rice fumbled. So I bought as many as I could of that for me and my friends, and I had that shirt until, I don't know, a couple of years ago, until it was finally hanging on by its last thread.
I was going to say, did it disintegrate?
Yeah.
All right, Jesse, we got time for one more text. What do you got?
Oh, I didn't think we did.
No, I'm making time. You said you had hundreds of texts.
Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of the references go back to. I don't have one in particular that I'm looking at here. A lot of them go back to the first game was the color TV Super Bowl or the Ice Bowl. A lot of references, kind of similar to what many of our callers had said throughout.
You know what you could get a lot of mileage out of is if we just shifted this to individual players, and not even the best, but for whatever reason, this guy, you remember him and you loved him. Like, I could go through 30 with the Packers that are people. Jason, I've talked to you about one of them. I don't know why, but Jared Bush is always going to be one of my all-time favorite Packers, and I feel like I was very much in the minority there.
Huge interception in the Super Bowl. Everybody forgets that. And now he's one of the few guys that stuck around after his career ended. He's still living here in Green Bay. I see him all the time at the girls' gymnastic practices. All right. We need to get to Whoa Nelly because Jesse won some sort of award and he wants everybody to know about it. Want to remind you that the Fleet Farm Garden Center, Paula literally just came back from there. We're redoing some of the grass and putting in this edging. It was a whole thing all weekend long. I did manage to see that Game 7 between the Bruins and the Leafs, but most of the rest of the time I was working on the yard, which I do not enjoy. But it makes it a lot easier when you've got the garden center at Fleet Farm that's officially open for the season. Stop in today to check out their huge selection of hundreds of different seed varieties and plants and pick up everything you need to get your garden started. Find everyday spring gardening essentials today at Fleet Farm, and don't miss Fleet Farm's annual free Mother's Day Plant a Pot event on Saturday, May 11th. That's this coming Saturday in advance of Mother's Day on Sunday. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come and plant a free flower for Mom and make it a perfect Mother's Day gift. Learn more and find out which store is closest to you at fleetfarm.com/events. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, you thinking about updating your bath or shower? Turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler design consultants and installers do the work for you. Family-owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
ESPN Madison is serving up something new this fall.
Badgers bust into the national semifinals.
Unprecedented success.
Kelly Sheffield has put himself among the elite in the sport.
Unrivaled enthusiasm.
Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
I'm hooked. I love Wisconsin Bucks.
Unrelenting determination.
You have the best players and the best coach. You like the chance.
A national semifinalist for the 6th time.
The new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. 100.5 ESPN.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Stoughton Health, in collaboration with patient and family advisors, seeks to advance the healthcare experience at Stoughton Health by providing a forum for past patients and families to provide feedback on a variety of healthcare and other related topics. Advisors offer constructive feedback on their personal journey at Stoughton Health, helping to elevate the patient experience and increase satisfaction. Interested? Please call Amy at 608-873-2308.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Mosquito Joe of Madison. Well, tired of dealing with pesky mosquitoes, rodents, and other unwanted pests? Well, look no further than Mosquito Joe. Their experts provide comprehensive pest control solutions, keeping your yard and home free from mosquitoes, rodents, rats, stinging insects, and much, much more. From mosquitoes to mice, Mosquito Joe is your partner for comprehensive pest control solutions. Call to schedule a free inspection and let Mosquito Joe transform your indoor and outdoor living experience.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
This is Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
National semifinalist for the 6th time.
We're on Wisconsin Sports. 100.5 ESPN.
now for everyone's favorite part of the show, or at least Jesse's parents. Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Oh, guys, it was a big night Saturday night at the Wisconsin Broadcasters Awards. Big gala over in Middleton. Huge night. All the big titans of the industry were in attendance. At which Good Karma Brands, ESPN Wisconsin, had a lot to celebrate. 95.3 WBEV, 620 WTMJ being awarded News Operation and Station of the Year. Big props to both of them. Mark Tauscher and Gina Della win Best Humorous Commercial on 620 WTMJ. Pretty big deal. Congrats to Tausch and Gina. Got some things going on. Our friends in the afternoon, Kyle Brust and Nortman, Best Radio Show. Big win for them. ESPN Madison, Social Media, and Best Original Digital Content. Huge wins for ESPN Madison.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh,
what are we doing here?
Who were the other? How many votes did they win by, and who were the other candidates? How much of the audience knows what the Wisconsin Broadcasters Awards are?
Well, I'm telling them right now what we just won for. News
Titans of the industry.
Titans were there.
So here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We serve our listeners, right?
Yep.
This is what these awards are actually for.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need to take a victory lap during Whoa Nelly for them?
Because we won a bunch of awards. We got to tell people about it. If we don't tell everybody, who's going to tell them?
Well, I think it's IPT.
If they're good awards, I think they'd find them.
Right. It's IPT to brag about your own awards. And you know what the best part of this is that we've cut you off before you got to the award that was most important for you to announce on the show.
I won an award, too.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Look at that good-looking guy on Saturday night holding the award.
We didn't have enough time for more of our fans' texts of their memories.
No, we don't have time.
Because we had to get to your award?
Yeah.
No.
I want to tell the people.
We serve the listeners here.
Yeah.
It's not about us.
I thought you were a good teammate, Jason. You tell us all the time how great of a teammate you are. Let's celebrate some teammate successes.
First of all, I don't tell you that I'm a great teammate. I am a great teammate.
Uh-huh.
And
you just told us.
And congratulations on your award, but that's not what we're doing here.
Congratulate Kyle Brust and Norman on Best Radio Show.
Congratulations on all the winners' awards, but no one cares. Our fans want to talk about their memories of the Packers, and they definitely don't care that you won an award.
Whoa, Nelly!
Well, you really did a great job of this one.
All the time we could have given to more Packers memories or favorite players, these questions about what is John Horst going to do in the offseason. Do you like Zach Edey on the Bucs if they target him in the draft? But
Jesse won an award. Yeah. He wants everybody to know.
Jim in Indianapolis, my Packers memory of my dad. We moved from Wisconsin to central Indiana in late 1968. The Packers were rarely on TV there. Being a superfan, Dad invested a special radio antenna that allowed us to pick up WTMJ on a radio. Dad and I sat at the kitchen table every Sunday listening to the games through the 70s until I went away to college. The team stunk back then, but we stuck with them, and I'm still a diehard fan.
I don't appreciate the tone in which you read that text.
What is better? That incredibly heartfelt text from Jim in Indianapolis. His dad bought a special antenna to pick up, oh, by the way, a station that is part of our family.
News Operation and Station of the Year, 620 WTMJ.
If you don't see how IPT this was,
You're going to tell all these good-looking people on the video stream,
No,
Jason, that
it's
they
not.
did diddly poo on Saturday night.
They earned their awards. It's great. Congratulations to them. But real winners don't have to take victory laps like you're taking right now. That's my point. I see Alex Strofe there. I see Tori Lowe there. It's great. I'm happy for all of them. But that's what awards are. It means you served your listeners well. And that's what we're here for. And Jim in Indianapolis shared a heartfelt text about him and I'm going to guess his late father.
Very nice
and
text.
You read it in a tone that would not be award-winning. It sounded like a tone of, I really wanted to talk about my award, and you're making me read this text instead.
That's exactly what it was. If you hadn't cut me off, you would have known.
What was it? Media Personality of the Year?
I didn't win an award for Best Reader of Text on Wilde and Tausch. I won an award for Best Large Market Radio Sports Play-by-Play.
So you beat Matt LePay and Wayne Larrivee,
Dave Kane.
and Dave Kane.
I don't know what all of the qualifications were to be in the running for the award, but as far as I'm concerned, yes, I did. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to poll this on Twitter. What is more heartwarming and interesting to you as a fan? Jim in Indianapolis's memories of sitting at a kitchen table in Indianapolis listening to Packers games off of a special antenna for 620 WTMJ, or Jesse winning an award? How do you think that balloting's going to go?
Well, you got to clarify what the award is if you're going through.
Then do a second poll question. Do you know what the WBA is? What the WBA awards
The Women's
are?
Bowling Association.
What was the game you won for, Jesse?
It was the Division III college football broadcast, St. John's, Minnesota, and UW Whitewater back in September of last year.
Your best from last year?
Yeah, it did. We brought it that day.
Is that the Culver's Bowl?
No,
Isthmus Bowl?
Same crew, though. Mike Podol and I, we had a few goes last
So
year.
wait, did Mike Podol win too?
Yeah.
Why didn't you mention him while you were announcing my award?
I barely introduced that I won it myself.
No. You announced your award multiple times during this segment, and you never mentioned Mike Podol until we asked.
Mike Podol's signature catchphrase is, put 6 on my stats. If you listen to high school football on ESPN Milwaukee, that's his catchphrase. So I texted him. First person I texted when I sat down with the plaque, it said, hey, Mike.
He wasn't even there?
Put a WBA on our stats.
Oh. So it's only one actual award, I take it.
Oh, yeah, one plaque, yeah.
So who has possession of that?
Well, I mean, I have it. I was there. I picked it up and everything. Huh.
Was he invited?
Picked it up like Jim Indianapolis picking up 620 WTMJ.
Yeah, and you did a great service to Jim's
sounds like you
heartfelt
swooped
text.
in and stole that, much like that fan at Soldier Field.
Leaping out of the stands and falling in gravity's strength. All right, Jesse, we got to your award. Congratulations. We're so happy
Thanks,
for you.
Jason. Appreciate it.
Really well deserved. All right, we will wrap things up with Justin Garcia, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on Wisconsin sports like never before.
Sharing the love that all of us have for volleyball with everyone else is one of my favorite things.
The new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust. Well, there's nothing like a great summer road trip. Whether you're traveling around the state or around the country, it's the time of year to start thinking about your plans to hit the road for a new adventure in the coming months. And with all the things to consider, what to do, how to get there, where you'll stay, the absolute last thing you want to worry about for summer road trip is car trouble. Make sure your vehicle is ready to take on every potential challenge thanks to the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, and make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape. Call Zimbrick Chevrolet to schedule an appointment with their incredible service team or check out their services and schedule an appointment online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
You, rah, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com.
With this Badger Minute, I'm Jesse Nelson. ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. Making the announcement official Thursday on Wilde and Tausch, Good Karma Brand's CEO Craig Karmazin.
We are going to be the new home of the Wisconsin volleyball program and the flagship home for a best-in-class program that has absolutely captivated this entire fan base, and couldn't be more excited to share that announcement with our fans.
Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 60 months when you order by May 10th. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Hi, I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. I've been here for over 4 decades now, and I can tell you here at Goodman's Jewelers, we pride ourselves on high standards, classic traditions, honesty, and integrity. We're a small independent jeweler with a great history, so you'll find us more personal than other big-name jewelers. Find Goodman's Jewelers in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Jim Rutledge here. I was like you. I didn't know what it was until I saw Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. He can walk you through the benefits. He can tell you if it's right for you, and then you could come up with a plan to change your life with a workout plan and semaglutide. With that plan, I dropped 20% body fat to 10% body fat, and I dropped over 20 pounds of fat and kept my muscle. You can do the same thing. Go see Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
We're on the Packers.
We should have been an NFC championship.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And now we should be one of the prohibitive favorites in the NFC.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Wrapping things up with WBA award winner Jesse Nelson. Jesse, take us out of the show. What do you got?
Jim in Indianapolis follows up. Jesse, congratulations on your special award.
Jim is a better person than you are, for sure. I'm just going to say that.
Are we sure he didn't send that with the tone that Jesse read it in, too?
Jesse, congratulations on your special award.
Sounds a lot like the tone from Jim's heartfelt text moments ago. All right, that's it for us today. Justin, it's great to have you. Someday maybe you, too, will win a WBA award. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. Thanks to Justin, and thanks to you. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin.